So what I wanted to do was tell you a wee bit about the journey we've been on in local government. So one of my roles at the moment is being chair of Local Government Digital Transformation Board. Up until about 6 months ago, that was the Local Government ICT Board, and we've made that transformation to move from ICT to digital transformation. So what I wanted to do is tell you a wee bit about why we've made that transformation. So what I've been talking to my colleagues about, colleagues in local government, there's 32 of us, chief execs of local government, and we meet at least once a month, and we'll take different portfolios. So my portfolio was ICT. I've got another colleague, Fiona Lees, who's got health and social care. So we all take a different range. So I have been looking at ICT and moving into the field of digital. So what I've been talking to them about is why we need to move from digital. Now, most of us do not have a technology background. A couple of us do, not that many though. We've got a wide chief execs and councils that can be lawyers, accountants, a wide range. I actually do have a technology background, but I'm very, very unusual in that. But we come from a wide range of backgrounds. So what I've been talking to them about why technology is important. So the first thing I've been trying to convince them, and I have managed now, is that technology, now digital technology, is going to define the next generation. There's been a complete change. All our young people are using digital as a way of life, and it's redefining business, every business. And what I'm saying also, it's gone from an innovative trend, it's gone from being an add-on to how you run your organisation to being a core competence. And the same way you manage your finances and everything, digital is actually core to what we're doing. So as a chief executive, it's not an extra, it's not an add-on, it's something you do. And also, it's not something you give to the ICT department. It's not something you can hand over and say, we want to be a digital department. It's got to be a digital council. And it's about a wide range of disciplines. It's about marketing communications. It is about ICT, of course it is, but it's also about data analytics, and it's about business transformation teams. So there's lots of teams and councils should be talking about digital. I've also been talking to them about how technology is changing, and that how it isn't about computers at desks. It's very much about most of our customers are now using mobile technology. It's about trying to help everybody understand how sensors are now really important. Now for me that is a bit of a story because I'm a physicist by background, and I started my research when I left university at 21 into fibre optic sensors for healthcare. So it's a bit of a, 30 years later, a bit of a journey for me going back into some of the stuff that was of interest when I was doing research. But that sensors are now every place, whether they be on your fridge, whether they be in people's homes, as we've been talking about today, but just everything where we do it, whether it's in our cars, there are sensors. I guess most of you have got a lot of having wearing Fitbits, as in our office, everybody is walking steps. It's about having sensors in everything that we do. And we need to bring that into how we run our business. It's not an add-on. And linked into that is obviously the phrase Internet of Things, where the internet is everywhere, be it on your fridge or in your computer or your phone. Trying to get everybody comfortable with software is not something, a big package that you buy once and you have in your computer for 30 years. It's about accessing quick applications in the cloud. And it's that we need to share, and we need our software all to interact with each other through open standards and open source software. So trying to get some of those technical messages across, but in a business context. And the way I've been doing that is to talk about the policy context, because when we get together as chief execs, the same in health boards and everything, we tend to talk about policy, government policy. So what I've been trying to do is show how technology is part of government, is part of our policy and part of government policy, and that digital can help us deliver on our policies. So I've been talking about how digital can help us do the prevention agenda, that it's very key. If we're measuring more, we can prevent people going into hospital, we can prevent spend later down. I've been talking about how digital can help enable partnerships. If we share data better, we can use digital for that. That we can actually use digital to engage communities. Most of our young people engage much quicker on digital than they do in many other ways. But actually a lot of our older people can engage quickly in digital as well. through using digital for their grandchildren or whatever. So I keep saying digital is actually about people. If we use digital well, it'll help us actually engage with people better. It is not a cold technology, it's how we get our face into people's houses. It might be on an iPad, but we're actually helping people, maybe people who are very vulnerable or lonely, actually see somebody if we get the technology right. And it can make us more efficient, it can help us deliver services cheaper and quicker, all the sort of standard stuff we've been doing. So our background was in 20, it seems a lot longer than that, so in 2013 we developed an ICT strategy. We've delivered on that strategy. We've shown that by working across councils that we can get business benefits. We had a very small budget. We had a budget of 300k over 2 years, so that wasn't a lot of money. But we managed to, with a lot of goodwill and support from people, we made that go a long way. Our partners in that have been Scotland Excel, who do our shared procurement. For those from NHS, NSS, National Shared Services have been a really good partner as well. Scottish Government, CMIS, who is one of our shared services for education and the improvement service. We've had lots of partnership support. Now this is a bit where you do need the slides, so if you can imagine at the moment 2 Venn diagrams, you've got that in your head. If your physicist is dead easy, honest, because I grew up with Venn diagrams, it might be a bit more difficult without it. But get that in your head. So what we've done is, what we did was, we were enabling public sector reform, we're putting more services online, and we're reducing costs. So we've done that, we've achieved that in certain areas, so we've shown we can do it. But how we did it, and this was the second Venn diagram, the other side of the page in your head, is we worked in national, so we worked very much with the Scottish Government and some of the national programmes like SWAN that many people have been involved in. We worked across local authorities and we worked across other sectors as well. So we tried to tie that up as much as we can, and we've got some real deliverables. So you might think, well, why did we need to change? You know, that was working successfully, just keep going with some cost savings, good bit of collaboration. But what we felt is we needed to move from an ICT strategy that had a focus on digital to a digital strategy enabled by ICT. That sounds simple, but actually turning it round makes a huge difference to what we were trying to do. We felt we as local government needed to move at pace and be far more ambitious, and we needed to fund collaboration. All of us, those councils that were ambitious in this area, can't actually afford to do it all ourselves, so we need to work together or we'll never move at the pace we needed to do. And we needed to build on the support, the commitment of our partners. So the vision we've set is that by 2020, all councils in Scotland are digital businesses. That's a big ambition. I'm not sure we'll manage it, but I'm going to try as far as I can to achieve that. We want digital, so a bit of a definition around that. We want digital to help us provide services that are customer-centred and efficient. So that customer-centred is really important, how we're trying to do digital. We want the council services we deliver to be as good as people can get in the private sector. Now that is going to be difficult. As I said to my head of digital, can we just have why is our website not like certain others? And he said, give me the money that major retailing kept thing and I'll deliver you a website like that. So there is an issue. Proves that we need to work together to really get to achieve the quality we need to do. And most importantly, we want digital to deliver better outcomes for our customers. That has got to be the whole point. It's why most of us are in public sectors, to deliver better outcomes. So strategy's now got 3 aims. The first one is digital leadership. You might wonder why we've got that as such a big aim, but unless we believe that the changing hearts and minds is where we'll make the biggest difference, that's where we'll get the pace. All the leaders in the public sector have to believe digital is the way to go. It's not an add-on, it's the way to go. So we want our politicians, we want our chief executives, we want all our directors, we want our directors of education and social work, of health, all to believe that digital is a core thing to move the business forward. We want our services to be digital, and that's most relevant today. We want digital health and social care, we want digital education and digital environmental services. But to do that, we've got to have a really solid ICT. At the start, we called it a rock solid ICT, but we've renamed it, and it's now what we're calling is digital foundations. So we want all our ICT to be built so it gives us a strong foundation for delivering digital services. So the reason we changed it was people were saying rock solid ICT might take us back the way. That will get us into the mindset of, security is more important than anything, and it's important, of course it is, but actually it's been having a right foundation that will help deliver digital. Now, what are our barriers? We think we've got 4 barriers. One is investment, we've talked about that cost. Leadership, culture in our organisations. Are our organisations digital? Do our staff understand digital to the level that we need? How can we do that? And so part of the culture and part of the skills. So we do, if a culture of digital is important, and do we have the skills to do something about it? My colleague in Fife uses a phrase that he wants a digital savvy organisation. And I think that's quite a good phrase. We actually need everybody using digital, not feeling it's that bit too hard or something they can't do. So if I focus then on digital services, because I think that's most relevant to today. So where we're going to do that is when we're introducing new services, that they become digital by default. We then are going to do a major redesign on all our services to make them as digital as they can be. People in local government and public sector are really important. So not everything can be done digitally, but you can enable, we've got our social workers out in the field now who are now working agilely. So they're still dealing with people in a people basis, but getting the information much quicker back. So there's an element of digital, but they may be doing the digital for our resident. But there's also telecare and a whole raft of other things where it is a real digital service. So we're doing that. Of course, we want our internal transactions in councils to be digital. The aim in my own organisation is all our processes are digital from end to end, our internal processes. The paper's to disappear. It's a big battle, but we're gradually getting there. And we want councils to understand better how they can use social media for business benefits. Social media can be a bit scary. We're all worried about how it can be misused, but it can be used for a whole load of things to help communicate better with our residents. Really importantly, we want citizens to choose and to trust our digital. We don't want them to be nervous about putting their information into our systems. We want them to feel and know that they're secure. So how does that come for telecare? Just bringing it to life. If we're looking at our major services, one of our biggest spends and growing spends in local government is social care. In my particular area in East Renfrewshire, our number of over 85-year-olds is going up at 4% per year. Now that is a huge increase at 4%. No matter how healthy you are, by the time you get to 85, there is a good chance that you're quite fragile. I should say our residents tend to be relatively healthy as well compared to Scotland, but by the time you're 85, even if you're healthy, you're fragile, you'll need some support. So we have a massive demographic there with funding going down the way, so we have to do something. So both in the prevention side of things and supporting vulnerable people, telecare, and just really want to take that forward as far as we can. And that most councils were just at the start of that journey. We're not by no means at the end of the journey, but we know that we've got to do much more than that. If you talk about using social media, how can we interact both with our residents but also with our families? Can we use in its widest sense social media to find ways where carers, the families of our residents know what's going on? Can we use that much better? We've got some pilot work going on there as well to keep people involved in terms of when carers are in and out the house, can we let the families know? Can they log on and find when the carer's been, check what's happened? Data protection, of course, is important, but we've got to make sure that happens. So can we really use that to support the wider infrastructure? And citizens trusting our data. One of the biggest challenges I think we've all got is about secure data transfers, sharing across particularly health and social care. We've got some steps there, but we're no means at the level we're at. We need to be, and I think the fact we've now got health and social care partnerships right across Scotland is really bringing that to the fore. It's a major thing. We've made some progress, but not nearly enough in that. So all those things are really important for digital. Now, To deliver on the strategy, we've decided there's 3 things that we need. We want a coalition of councils to be part of this, and at the moment we've now got 26 councils signed up out of 32, which is very good. Our tipping point was if we went 10 we'd go ahead, and we got to 25 quite quickly, and then another one come to us last week and said, we signed up. We said, no you didn't, we never got your email. And they've come back and said, no, we want to be in. So we're at 26, we hope we'll get to 32, but at the moment we're at 26 signed up, and by that means prepared to put money in to actually fund a digital office. We've just advertised for a Chief Digital Officer for local government. That advert went out last week. It's a fairly high profile job. We've got the support of COSLA, the support of the local government partnership, which is the 4 councils who are not in COSLA, and we even got a quote from Derek Mackay. Sorry, I think it's the new. It's okay, I don't need it, don't worry. Derek Mackay also quoting support of local government for what we're doing. So that's a big move for us in terms of collaborating and sharing. We are not going to have a big shared service. This is not about putting all the ICT teams together, but this is about providing the expertise and the brokering, because we're all doing good things, but if we could all share what each other's doing, we can do it a lot quicker. So that team will be in place hopefully over the next few months. At the moment, what we've got is a huge amount of goodwill from colleagues across local government who are actually taking time out of their busy day jobs and doing some of this work. Our colleagues in Scot, which is the IT teams and councils, the leads in that, they're leading on our digital foundation work, and we've got colleagues around who are leading where they can without full-time resource. So fantastic commitment from people. And we've also got real support from Scottish Government through the work with the digital ecosystem, and colleagues in NHS and others, so all working together to try and take us forward. It is a big challenge. I'm not saying it's not. I'm desperate to get the Chief Digital Officer in, because I'm hoping in future he or she would be speaking here instead of me, because I think what we need in local government is people who've been there and done this and can help drive us forward. We have got a terrific ambition. We've got a lot to move forward for. I think my view is at the moment in local government, with the pressure in finance, that digital is really, in my mind, the only initiative where we can actually save money and deliver better services. There's not another tool we've got in our box that can actually do both. So that's why I've been emphasising to my colleagues about how important it is. So hopefully that's given you my story over the last few years. I'm hoping there'll be a good end to that story when we get our Chief Digital Officer in place. I'm looking forward to that. And then I hope at that point we'll be able to achieve that ambition of really moving at pace in local government. Thank you very much.
Brilliant.